What if I told you there was something natural, cheap, and easily accessible that could help you treat your dog's pink eye, yeast, car sickness, gas, stimulate appetite, pain management, help with tooth enamel, deworm, and also fight cancer? If you're tuning into us for the first time, my name is Raul from QBN Kennel. And no, I'm not a veterinarian nor a dog dietitian. I'm just a breeder that's willing to share with you things that I've used in my yard. Now, keep in mind, before we get into all this, it is up to you to do your own research and also talk to your vet, because your dog may have an underlying condition that may not allow him or her to be able to use any one of the things that we're about to go over. All right, so let's get started. First on the list is chamomile. Did you know that chamomile is a calming agent, not just for humans, but also for dogs? It's also an analgesic, which means it's a pain relief. It's also antispasmodic. Yes, antispasmodic, meaning anti-spasm. Now, we know that chamomile is an anti-inflammatory and is also antimicrobial. So here are two ways that we've actually used it. We'll go ahead and actually make some chamomile tea. Once boiled in a pot, we let that tea cool down. And once cooled, you can use it as an after bath rinse. And that does two things. If your dog has itchy skin, it will help soothe it. In addition, it will fight germs. That's not the only way we use it. The other way we use it is if we see one of our dogs having conjunctivitis, or better known as pink eye. Like I said, chamomile is both an anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial. So that tea bag that you dipped in the pot, once cooled, we'll go ahead and put it on the dog's eye for about a good 10 or 15 seconds. And we do that maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And we've seen some pretty good results with our dogs. We've actually even done it on puppies. Next thing on our list is oregano. Not only is it rich in fiber, calcium, and fatty acids, it has 2 types of oils, carvacrol and thymol, and they are both antifungal, and they also serve to be antibacterial. So you already know where we're going with this. The way we've used it is using oregano oil in our shampoos, and it works wonders in reducing any type of bacteria, particularly MRSA, which is the methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So if your dog has a MRSA infection, you might want to do your research on this. But also, let's keep it simple. Instead of it being oregano oil, you could simply just buy oregano itself. The fresher, the better. If your dog has a Cheeto smell, or you know they have a yeast infection, adding oregano to their food, it's actually going to get rid of the yeast naturally. Very inexpensive and very accessible. So I get written to all the time. A bunch of you telling me that your dogs are car sick. And let me tell you, I do have a couple of my dogs that can be car sick too. So I went ahead and started messing around. I prefer to go the natural route rather than be giving my dogs exclusively medications that were actually made in some sort of lab. So I tried ginger. I read up on it. I did my research. I noticed that when I give ginger to my dogs 1 hour prior to going anywhere, they actually do a lot better. And when I mean a lot better, I mean they don't throw up in my car whatsoever. There's a couple things you need to know about ginger. Even though it's non-toxic and non-irritating, and usually used for treating dogs with tummy trouble, never give ginger alone on a dog that has an empty stomach. Make sure you're feeding them and along with the ginger so the dog's able to tolerate it. Otherwise, it could have the opposite effect. So the way I give it is I make ginger tea. You could either buy the ginger at the store or buy the ginger tea itself. I give them a 1/4 cup for every 20 pounds of body weight per day, not to exceed 1 cup per day. So if you know you're going to be heading out with your dog, maybe some ginger tea in their food 1 hour before they head out. It's something that'll work for you like it's worked for me. Next on the list is CBD. Yeah, I already know what you're thinking. While often associated with the cannabis and the marijuana plant, cannabis for dogs is typically derived from the hemp plant Cannabis sativa. These plants contain a cannabinoid called cannabidiol, and that is CBD, and that is therapeutic. CBD can help treat many acute ailments, from arthritis to stress to digestive issues and even pain management. Pain relief typically starts within a few hours after you've given them this. It may take several weeks before your dog is able to get the maximum benefit from it. Always follow the instruction of CBD oil for treatment dosing. Some dogs may become drowsy, which is its most common side effect. On rare occasions, mild itching and even vomiting may occur. If that occurs, I recommend you stop immediately. Next up on this list is garlic. Yes, garlic. I know 100 of you are writing to me telling me You're not supposed to feed garlic to dogs, but you actually can. Just hear me out for a second. With over 100 beneficial properties, garlic is not only an antibacterial, an antimicrobial, an antibiotic, and also an antiviral. It could also be used as a deworming agent. It doesn't get more natural than this. It also supports the formation of the good bacteria in the gut, making it an excellent supplement to regular antibiotics. Now, there are some considerations you must take. Like I said earlier in the video, you must always do your research. You should never feed garlic to a dog with anemia or similar condition, or dogs that are diabetic, or a dog that's expecting to go to surgery, or young puppies less than 8 weeks old, dogs with autoimmune disease, and Japanese breeds such as Akitas and Shiba Inus. Here's a quick rundown as to how I feed it to my dogs. We crush the garlic and we let it sit between 10 to 15 minutes. That's so allanase, which is something that is actually not good for dogs, can chemically react with air. Allanase will then combine with allicin to create allicin. Allicin is the actual medicinal ingredient in garlic, and it gives all the following benefits to your dog. It's an antibiotic, antifungal, antiparasitic, helps prevent formation of tumors, helps in detoxification, prevents the formation of blood clots, boosts the immune system. It has prebiotic effectiveness, natural flea repellent. Can you just use any garlic? My answer is always use raw garlic. Make sure to crush it, let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes before you feed it to your dog. Also, if your dog is on medications, you want to make sure to talk with your vet. Next up on the list is parsley. Next time you go to your grocery store and you walk around the vegetables and you see parsley, you're going to see it differently from here on out. I guarantee it. All right, so let me give you a quick rundown on parsley. Aside from getting vitamin A, C, and K from it, aside from it actually helping your dog develop its eyesight, immune system, and healthy blood clotting, and let's not forget liver health, parsley is actually known as chemoprotective for your dog. It is actually able to neutralize a variety of carcinogens. The way that we give parsley to our dogs is as a tea. Again, we go ahead and give them 4 teaspoons of actually fresh raw parsley. We throw it in a pot and we add 1 cup of water and let it boil. That's it. It's as simple as that. Next up on the list is sage. Again, it comes with vitamin A, E, and K, and it helps support a healthy immune system. It also has anti-inflammatory benefits that may help against arthritis. So if you have an older dog and you're seeing that it's arthritic, this may actually help. But the main reason that we use it here is gas. We do feed raw to our dogs, and every now and then they can get quite gassy. So how do we counter that? Is we buy fresh sage. We actually just add it to their food. That simple. Sage leaves are known to ease gas and bloating. It also helps to treat gastrointestinal infections. So if you have any of these things going on, you may want to give it a try. I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to stick around for number 10. Number 10 is going to really surprise you. But right now, we're going to be talking about turmeric. Turmeric is a herbal remedy, which is also an antioxidant, also an anti-inflammatory for both humans and dogs. It also increases bile production, which in turn helps protect the stomach and the liver. But it doesn't only stop there. It's also pain relief. I told you to stick around for number 10, and number 10 is catnip. Yes, catnip. Hear me out. Most assume that catnip is a plant that brings along euphoria for cats, but there's actually other uses for it. You have a dog that's having issues eating, you notice it doesn't have much appetite, guess what? Catnip actually stimulates appetite, also calms nervous dogs. So if you have a Chihuahua that's nervous about everything, this might actually help. It also aids in restful sleep and aids in digestion. The way we do it is 4 teaspoons of catnip with 1 cup of water. That gets boiled, and then we just go ahead and pour it over their food. If you're using dried catnip, I suggest that you use 2 teaspoons rather than 4. 4 is only for the raw, fresh catnip. Now, for those of you that stuck around, I'm going to go ahead and give you an extra one. Whether you feed your dogs raw or you're actually feeding kibble, I have always suggested to make sure you give them some sort of multivitamin supplement. In a lot of raw food diets, you go ahead and supplement with raw liver. The problem you have with that is nowadays they're putting all sorts of steroids into poultry and cattle and everything else in between. So the way I get away from all that is by using Nuvet Plus. It comes out to as little as 51 cents a day. Keep in mind, this comes in 3 months supply. All you got to do is take a picture of the QR code on the left or the QR code on the right, depending which one you like. Just in case, I'll leave a link down in the descriptions. You cannot get this at stores. This has been Raul from the Q telling you thank you for joining us today. Make sure to download QBN app. It is absolutely free. And click on this next video. It's been Raul from the Q catching you on the next one.